Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show information about prefixes. Before starting the topics, I give short information about affixes. What affixes? Affixes are a group of letters attached before and after the root word. For example, accept, root word. Un, prefix, able, suffix. Prefix, a group of letters placed before the root word. A suffix is a group of letters placed after the root word. Okay, accept, unacceptable. This is affixes form. Unacceptable. Such kind of words we can come across in English language. For example, unemployed. Now prefixes. Prefixes are letters which add to the beginning of a word to make a new word with a different meaning. There are different types of prefixes, such as pre. Means before, un means not, re means again, mis, wrong or bad. Prefixes can create a new word, and they can also make a word negative or express relations of time, place, or manner. There are different types of prefixes in English language. For example, an, ir, mis, outer, and so on. Now, here are some examples. The first base word, possible. Impossible means opposite. Impossible means an action or event cannot happen or be achieved. If we can offer example, it was impossible to sleep because of the noise. Impossible, cannot sleep because of the noise. And the next is able. Able means to have the necessary physical strength, mental power, skill, time, money, or opportunity to do something. And example, it's so wonderful being able to see the sea from my window. And the next prefix, none. Non-payment. Prefix is usually written with hyphen, means negation, not. Non-payment means a failure to pay money, cannot pay. And the next prefix, pre. The root word is war, pre-war. Pre-war means happening before a word. And the next prefix, terrestrial. Terrestrial added extraterrestrial. Prefix extra means outside of, beyond. Extraterrestrial means coming from outside the planet. And the next prefix, over. Over means more than. For example, overcook. Overcook, to cook food for longer than necessary, or to cook too much. Such kind of prefixes we can use in our speaking, and the prefixes helps us to learn the English language perfectly. And also we can offer some other prefixes, such as, for example, irrelevant. The word relevant is base word and ir, prefix. And the next word, irresponsible. Responsible base word, ir, prefix. For example, in our sentence we can use these words. For example, I'm sorry I was unable to attend the meeting. The word unable, cannot participate. The next sentence, non-payment of fees could result in a student being asked to leave the course. Non-payment, without payment money. And the next example is, has anyone ever really met an extraterrestrial being? The word extraterrestrial being, meaning a being from another planet. The next word is overcooked. The meat was overcooked and quite tasteless. Okay, Cook usually prepare a meal over, more than, too much. That's why prefixes usually are very helpful to learn the English language. That's why learners have to learn. The next is most common prefixes. The first prefix is anti, means against, opposite to. For example, anti-government, anti-racist, anti-war. Anti, against. The next is outer. Outer means self. For example, automobile, autobiography. And the next word is de. De means reverse or change. For example, declassify, decontaminate, demotivate. The word declassify means to say officially that especially political or military information is no longer secret. The next, decontaminate. As we know, contaminate means pollute. Decontaminate is opposite meaning. The next word is demotivate. Demotivate means to make someone less enthusiastic about a job. Motivate means stimulate and encourage. And the next prefix is dis. Also means reverse or remove. For example, disagree, displeasure, disqualify. The prefix dis means remove. That's why this prefix makes many sentences, especially verbs. For example, dislike, disagree. And the next word is down. Down prefix means reduce or lower. For example, downgrade, downhearted. Downgrade means to reduce someone or something to a lower rank or position. And the next prefix, extra. Extra means beyond. For example, extraordinary. Extraordinary means very unusual, unexpected, or strange. If we can offer example, he told the extraordinary story of his escape. The next prefix, hyper. Hyper means extreme, very. Hyperactive, hypertension. Hypertension means a medical condition in which your blood pressure is extremely high. Hyper means having too much of the stated quality. Hyperactive means more energy than is normal. Hypertension, medical situation, medical condition. Hyper means more energy than is normal. And the next prefix is il, im, in, ir. These prefixes are added to the base word and makes the word's meaning to the negative side, opposite side. For example, illegal. The next is impossible, insecure, irregular. These prefixes we use in our speaking, in our writing, we use a lot. And the next is inter. Interactive, international, means between. For example, nowadays many teachers are using interactive teaching methods. Inter means describes a system or a computer program which is designed to involve the user in the exchange of information. The next prefix, mega. Mega means very big or very important. For example, the word byte, we add prefix mega, megabyte. Megabyte is used in computer technology science. The next word is megadeal and also megaton. If we look through, these prefixes are very important. For example, anti-governmental, the prefix anti, automobile, declassify, and so on. Also, we can continue our speech and we can offer prefixes, for example, mid. Mid means middle. For example, midday, midnight, mid-October. The next prefix miss means incorrectly, badly. For example, misunderstanding, mislead, misspelled, and so on. Out, go beyond. Outdo, outperform, outrun. And the next prefix, post. Post means after, post-election, post-war. The next prefix, pre. Pre means before. For example, prehistoric, pre-war, and so on we can offer. Pro means in favor of. Pro-communist, pro-democracy. And the next word is prefix re. Re prefix is used a lot, and it means again. For example, redo, rewrite, retake, reconsider, and so on. Re means again. And the next prefix is semi. Semi means half. For example, semicircle, or another word is semifinal. These prefixes are so common, we can come across in reading, in writing, and also speaking. Okay, and the next is some rules for prefixes. Learners have some difficulties to add prefix to the base word. The first is un. Un prefix is used with many different words. For example, unfriendly, unable, unemployed, untidy. The next prefix, im, is used before some words beginning with op. For example, impolite, impatient. The next is ill, is used before some words beginning with l. For example, illegible, illegal. And the next prefix, ear, is used before some words beginning with r. For example, responsible, the first word letter r, that's why added is irresponsible, irregular. The next, this. This prefix is used before some adjectives, for example, dishonest, dissimilar, and a few verbs, dislike, disagree, disbelieve. The next, in. In is used before a limited number of words. For example, invisible, independent, incredible. There are some negative prefixes in English language. For example, un, ill, im, this, in, ir, miss, none. These prefixes makes a new word, especially negative meaning. For example, unfair, fair. The next, ill, legal, illegal. For example, possible, impossible. And the next, non prefix, usually written with hyphen. For example, non-smoker, non-violent, non-profit. Miss, usually it means wrong. Misunderstanding, mistrust, misbehave, and so on. And the next, tips. Tips for adding prefixes. The first tip is the spelling of the base word never changes. For example, base word cycle is not changed. Simply add the prefix to the beginning of the base word as in the word tricycle. Cycle, prefix tri. Tri means three. And the next tip is be aware that double letters can occur. Double means two letters. If you add the prefix un to natural, both the prefix and the base word retain their original spelling. The result is unnatural. Un prefix, natural, unnatural. Other examples where double letters occur include misspell, double S, irregular, double R, and unnoticeable. Tip 3. Watch out for prefix lookalikes. Some words contain the same string of letters as a prefix, but upon closer examination you will find that they are not prefixes. For example, re in real is not a prefix. Other examples include, for example, uncle, pretty, interest. Okay, uncle, un is not prefix. In the word pretty, pre is not prefix. And also interest, in is not prefix. Such kind of words we can come across in reading or maybe other situations, but they are not prefix. They are only one simple word. The next, we can focus on the hyphen. 5 rules for using hyphens with prefixes. Prefix is usually added directly to the base word, but there are several cases where a hyphen is needed. Hyphen is also used in some word, base word, and plus prefix. The first rule is rule number 1. Hyphenate the word when you add a prefix to a proper noun or a numeral. For example, an American, pre-1980. Rule number 2. Hyphenate the word when you add the prefix ex, meaning former. For example, ex-president. Don't use a hyphen if ex means out of or away from, as in expel. Number 3. Hyphenate after a prefix self. Self, respect. Self here, prefix. Respect, root word. Rule number 4. Hyphenate to separate to a apostrophe s to I apostrophe s or other letter combinations that might cause misreading or mispronunciation. For example, ultra ambitious, ultra sensitive. And the next rule number 5. A hyphen is sometimes used after the prefix re to prevent misleading or misconfusion with another word. For example, recover versus recover. Antonym list using an prefix. You can these words with prefix an. For example, attendant, unattendant. For example, kind, unkind. The next prefix is in English. And for example, these prefixes are so common and we can use in English language. For example, anti-social, dislike, correct, incorrect, core, co-worker. For example, extracurricular, forecast, and so on. And the last is exercise for prefixes. Now, learners, you can do this exercise with putting these prefixes. For example, possible, you can add the prefix impossible. You can add a prefix to each of the following words to make new words. You can revise these words with prefixes.